This is a philosophical review of the remake movie of RoboCop, and it is not unlike many other films. You have films like I, Robot, you have Artificial Man, you have Centennial Man, and there are a host of other films that depict a manufactured person, no, a manufactured robot uh, portraying human emotions or put in a position of human understanding. And this is just a review of some of the things that come to mind about the future and the reality of it. And in essence, all of these types of movies that have been produced over the many years are basically glorified Frankenstein movies. Now, do I believe that we are headed in a direction of the reality of having robots among us, or at least in some part cyborg, if you will, some mesh between robot and biological man? Sure, why not? It's interesting to note that 100 plus years ago, that who would have thought that man would be thrust from the dark ages, from the age of the golden flame, into the age of the light bulb? Uh, who would have thought just a mere 20 years ago the very possibilities of the internet? Now, we already have uh, absolutely astounding advances in prosthetic limbs that are being used for all kinds of people, including those war veterans who have lost limbs. And those are always being advanced. We have processors that are being advanced every day. And so, even though it might seem like an outlandish notion that we would ever accept robots among us, uh, I feel is kind of uneducated, because these are the years of anything goes. It seems like our wildest dreams become realized in the next few years. So I do believe that, um, to some degree, in some varied reality, uh, we may have, robots among us. Now, the fear that I have is becoming an apathetic world, and in many ways, we have already become, uh, to a degree, apathetic. Will we have the opportunity to have personal robots, such as in iRobot, to basically be our companion, to basically be our slave? If that notion were to ever become true, that would be in the far distant future. Um, I believe that there's a great danger in uh, allowing and putting your faith in mechanical structures to do our work. And but there are good applications as well. Um, and this is a shift from our view of what a robot is, of having two legs looking like a human. We have robots such as drones, that have been crucial in our success around the world. They have, uh, for instance, they have taken close-up looks of the Maersk, Alabama, back in 2009 when we were having a hijacking situation going on, and a whole host of other things that we have used drones on that have saved American lives and other lives as well around the world. So there are great applications for it. We have smart uh, missiles, smart bombs, whereas they have pinpoint accuracy, and all these things might seem like we're diverging from a robot, but it goes to illustrate that the technology is all inclusive. And so eventually, all this technology is bound to manifest in more complex and more human like beings. Now, there's always the debate, if you will, if mankind can ever mechanically build something that has a conscience that can truly discern right from wrong beyond its black and white programming. And I don't know. I take a look at the grand scheme of things, how God, if you will, has created such a wide variety of life. Anything from the very bacteria to humans, etc. And it may not be life, but is it so inconceivable, especially given our era of technology? Is it so inconceivable that at some point with our processors that we will create the very software, the very means of a robot feeling pain to feel love? And these are each separate emotions, and so I guess the difference is that for a human, we can discern one from the other. We can interact with our emotions. We can feel love, but we can choose to act a certain way on it. And I think that's the what defines us. One of the things that defines us as human. If we feel love for another person, we don't have that internal programming that we're actually going to engage and bring this love to a certain fruition. If it's a dangerous situation, we can choose to believe that it is, you know, uh, too dangerous to pursue such a relationship, and we can choose not to do that. Can a robot do that? Again, perhaps in the future, perhaps not. Uh, Now we are talking about endless potential. Okay, energy is completely fluid. Energy can be manipulated in any number of ways, and we are being proven that every day. Couple that with man's potential, all that we have achieved over the past little over 100 years since the light bulb, and is it possible to produce such complex emotions within a mechanical being? I don't know. Now, in the case of RoboCop, that's interesting because you have an organic person. Okay, um, to give you a little update, RoboCop is basically a cop, a police officer who a group of people tried to kill, and basically his entire body, except his head and lungs, were blown away or had to be amputated, if you will. And um, so, in an effort not only to save his life, but to further the agenda of a cybernetics, if you will, company, they had produced a suit of armor, a body of armor for this man, whereby his head and his lungs would be affixed to, and he would be given certain powers, if you will, to govern that body. So, in essence, yes, and we have achieved some of that already. For some of our prosthetic limbs, um, we have already entered into certain stages of um, using the brain to send direct messages to the hand, to make it move and do certain things. And that is always being evolutionized. And so I think when you come across these types of films, these movies, it is interesting. It is something that should be not only entertainment, but reflective. And, at the onset, I mentioned these are nothing more than glorified Frankenstein movies. And I believe that because look at what we have with Frankenstein. We have a man seemingly good with good intentions. He's a scientist. He just wants to build a better world, and he fashions uh, this man, from various sources. And the point of the everlasting point of the Frankenstein saga is, can we, should we accept this manufactured person? Should we accept him as one of us? Accept him as human? Should we accept the emotions that he is exhibiting, the hardships, the horrors, um, the love, the honesty? And so, I guess in a nutshell, you can accept all those things. Not unlike we accept one another's as humans. We, you know, you have the choice to accept an African American. You have a choice to accept a person from Mexico. You have a choice to accept white people. It's all the same. But again, I would not discount the future possibilities of the scenarios of RoboCop in particular, and also like iRobot and Centennial Man, artificial intelligence, those types of deals. Because as we continue to look towards uh, technology solving our problems and quote unquote enhancing our lives, we will see an evolution in who these um, manufactured beings are. So that is my review. Very thought-provoking films, especially RoboCop. I highly advise seeing it, if nothing more than for its philosophical debates. Thank you.